Hello, Pop Consumer Society. We're back. It's lunchtime. And let's talk about X-Men. Because after the writer was working on his job on the script, after Marvel was already looking for a director, practically closing in on the directors. After the Russell brothers committed to guiding the project, all these rumors that are going around, there hasn't been any official announcement yet about who the writer is going to be, who the director is going to be, not yet. But after all this has been happening behind the scenes, maybe now is finally the time to think about the cast, which we've been talking about here on the channel for about 3 years. There's no point thinking about the cast now. The movie is still a long way off. There's no writer, no director. Nobody knows how to cast yet. For what? We don't even have a story. How are you going to choose the characters? You don't even have the list of who you need to cast. Of course, there are some classic names that can't be left out, but even so, the director has his preferred tone and favorite actors for the movie. So there's the cast he wants to bring in. The screenwriter will have to choose the situations, which characters come in, which characters he'll need, and that can't be chosen beforehand because it's wrong. To write a good script, you need to include certain elements. It's not ideal to force specific things into the script. The best approach is to follow a proven formula that we talked about here, that James Gann wants to achieve there in the Detective Comics universe in his own way. He casts actors only after the script is complete, which is his preferred method. Anyway, with all this in hand, we can now start thinking about the cast, and several names are coming up. And so on, and they come and go. This week, we had some news that Patrick Schwarzenegger, son of Arnold, would be interested in a role in X-Men. People started speculating about who he would play, and then this list came up from none other than Jeff Snyder, Chiliquenta. When someone isn't invited to an event, they may feel... He starts getting more movie news, and Chiliquenta supposedly sent this. A list of the 5 original X-Men. Nicholas Galazzini, better known as He-Man, as Angel, Drew Starkey as Iceman, Daisy Edgar Jones as Jean Grey, Patrick Schwarzenegger as Cyclops, and Logan Lerman as Beast. This list spread around. It reached a lot of places, including my Instagram DMs. I started to analyze it, and I got 2 things from this list. First, good names, young and unknown. Not a lot of baggage, not too much weight, and the 5 original X-Men, which is a good start. In fact, several times here on the channel, I said that I would like to see a project with just the 5 original X-Men, and then expanding the way it happened in the comics. There's the thing with Galazzini, who's going to play He-Man. And if you look at Galazzini today, he'll need about 10 wings to lift that guy because he looks like a buffalo. But that's fine, he's an actor. The guy gains muscle and loses muscle, he can get skinny again. Actually, he was skinny before the He-Man project. He's full of steroids now, but then comes something you might already be commenting on, but I'm ready, I'll comment here. Jeff Snyder himself came on his social media to say that he wasn't the one who made the list. His name is going around, but he's not responsible for what's on that list. Look, this list here is fake. Stay well, guys, it's all good. It's just the name that he actually mentioned. Just the name that he confirmed there that the one being considered for the role is Daisy Edgar Jones as Jean Grey. Daisy Edgar Jones in this role takes the place of Seri Cinco, because she was the one being considered for the role of Jean Grey until recently. But since Seri Cinco was practically confirmed in Spider-Man Brand New Day, she probably won't be Jean Grey, because it doesn't make any sense to put Jean Grey in a Sony movie. Probably the insiders are already saying, no, I didn't say that, I said she was being considered, so... He might have fabricated that Celestine wants to play Jean Grey solely because of her red hair. Now perhaps Mary Jane, spider name, which I also don't think is going to happen because of the Zendaya situation. But now it's left for Daisy Edgar Jones, who doesn't have a very long career. She became known for playing Marianne in the series Normal People. I haven't watched it, I don't know her work, but she was nominated for a British Academy of Film and Television Arts, and she was nominated for a Golden Globe. So she probably isn't a big star, and I like her appearance, her discreet look. She's not a sensation, not an instant celebrity, which is always... It's this urge these guys have to cast the latest famous girl as an important character, but that's not the case here. She seems to be a dedicated actress, and at first glance, she doesn't look like a natural redhead with freckles and green eyes. But she seems justified for this role. Of course, it's still just a rumor from Jeff Snyder. Jeff Snyder gets a lot of things right, but he also has his moments where he goes off the rails. Let's remember that way. Before Comic-Con, Jeff Snyder was already insisting that Robert Downey Jr. would be Doctor Doom in the movies, and it turned out to be true. So one of the earliest and most accurate scoops I've seen in recent years was Jeff Snyder's about Doctor Doom, because no one expected it. People were talking about replacing Kang, and this guy came in with Doctor Doom. When it happened, everyone was like, haha, that can't be true. But it was. From there, let's keep an eye on our friend Daisy Edgar Jones, who could be Jean Grey. She's 26 years old, which is great. None of that casting a 35-year-old Jean Grey, since it's a role the actress will have for many years, and the younger, the better. She could even be younger than that, but 26 is excellent, and she can still do a lot in this role. So let's keep an eye on other names too. Which role Patrick Strassneger would be interested in for X-Men, whether it's really Cyclops or not, if that was just a guess when the guy made the list or not, if Galaxine is going to jump from He-Man to Angel, and what are the other names, the villains, and things we'll be discussing in the coming years about this X-Men movie. They're also betting it could be announced at this year's Comic-Con in July after the premiere of Fantastic Four, still during the Avengers Dunes warm-up. Take advantage, there's only Avengers Dunes for talking about it at Comic-Con. Take the opportunity and also announce new Marvel movies, including X-Men as a possibility. But I want to know if you've already seen the series, if you know the actress, if you like her, and if you think it's a good casting choice. I want to know your opinion. Write it down here in the comments. I'll be back soon with more pop culture topics, and there are already options appearing on the screen for you to click and stay with me a little longer. See you later. See you soon. See you in a bit. Bye. See you.